Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for FILECOIN. Now, it's been about a month since I've updated this one. We recently hit target, and I just wanted to show you since last video update, and I have considered another option for a bullish scenario that you don't want to miss. So I'm just going to play the last video, just a couple of seconds here, so you can see what we were looking for last time I updated. H-bar, if you watch my H-bar videos, and looking for this fifth wave in the C wave in red to move to the upside, target the 1-to-1 extension of this A wave at around $10.60, and we can get some overthrow. The fact that we hit the 1.618 extension of this wave 1 off our wave 2 in the C wave, we can get to the 2.236 at around 1170. We'll know more. So that was last video. About a month ago, you can see we reached that overthrow target of 1170. So that is considered complete. Now, the speed of it has me a little bit off guard. Like, obviously, overthrow is okay in a diagonal, but at the same time, there's a couple things that go along with this, with the diagonal, that we don't expect to see. Yes, we can get a spike in volume in fifth waves, but we usually get divergence on each individual wave to the downside if it's a diagonal. So there's a couple things that go against guidelines, even though it's technically a diagonal complete. Now, if it is a diagonal complete, what I would suggest now, after the fact, I mentioned last time we have to talk about that once we get here, is most likely this would be a WXY to the upside, where I got most likely a flat here, 335 to the upside. Look for our X wave as a connector, and then move for another correction to the upside. So WXY. Now the thing with X waves is there is no time guideline. They can be very quick. They can be very drawn out. There's absolutely no time guideline whatsoever. If this is a combination and we continue to correct bullishly to the upside. So it's very important to pay attention to the correction in this area. We can throw on our fibs to consider that. We probably want to see at least a 236, but they can be pretty quick sometimes. That's why we more likely want to rely on what's happening in other markets. Indicators for this will probably be like H-bar. If one of these patterns plays out first, it'll give us a tell. Because if you follow along my videos, you know there's a lot of coins that are making this exact pattern. So hopefully we can get a tell off one of those previous ones, especially for areas where we expect to hold. So if we are breaking out, where do we want to hold? Obviously this fourth wave would be kind of the lowest we'd want to go, which is pretty far away. That's like a 50% drop. We would prefer to find support on these current resistances we are just at right now. This is the area we'd like to hold support. We've hit the 236 on linear. We've hit, let's see here, we sold off a lot. We've hit the 382 right there on linear. I'm going back to log. I want to discuss the way this chart is actually bullish. Obviously, we can get a WXY. Once we get that correction pan out, target the 1-to-1 and expecting 3 waves, right, as a WXY. Looking at, depending where we correct, you know, $30 up to very high. Those targets are unimportant right now because they don't even compute until we have a complete correction here. So the general shape we are looking for is we have our 3, looking for 3. Again, no time guideline, no maximum distance. We don't need a 50 or 618. This is an X wave. It can be very shy, it can be very quick, but then we want to see another 3 wave to the upside. That's the bullish scenario. Bearish scenario, we have a completed 3-wave move to the upside. We need to move further to the downside. So this is why this area is so important, and we want to see sideways consolidation, holding previous resistances as support. That's what we want to see. So if we drift sideways here for a little bit, and we'll analyze these waves specifically, that's where we'll find our entry. I don't think it'll get away anytime soon unless this certain situation pans out. Let me show you this. Okay, since our high here in 2021, I was looking at CoinMarketCap. That was our high. That was our high on CoinMarketCap. So I'm kind of ignoring this candle and considering that the high could have just been a Binance issue on the original launch. But if we consider that our high, like it is on CoinMarketCap, as you can see, that was our high. We go back to TradingView, and I was just pulling off our corrections, and I see a situation where we have a WXY, and maybe you'll pick this up as we go. Like so. And this is our low. I'm just going to make this disappear for a second. I'll put that back on the chart later, and this is our low. Right here. Let's see if you guys can spot what it is. So basically we get an ABC here. I believe it hits the, whoa. I believe it hits the 1.618 extension. Oh, I already have it up, sorry. Or the 1.786. That's our common area. Right there, the 1.786. So that can technically be a third wave in a correction, right? Or an impulse, sorry. Or the end of a C wave. So when I count this out, that's clearly 5 waves. One, like very clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Very clear. So if we have that as our A wave, B, this would have to be a C. So let's see if we can get a C out of that. It looks like we can with a diagonal. So we just got a zigzag for our W wave. Series of 3s or a impulse. ABC, 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 4, A, B, C. Yeah, I already do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as zigzags. So if that is the case, how is this a Y? I've talked about before, maybe it's truncated, maybe it's whatever. My guess is it's a combination. And I'm going to start applying this to my other charts too with these scenarios. I'll have to double check them all. I know H-bar has a similar count, a similar looking bottom. I want to go back and check all these because these are tough to spot, but all it is a 3, 3, and we have a triangle bottom, WXY as a combination. And that would start our count from here, which if that is the start of our count, I can get 5 out of this first wave, and I can get 5 out of this wave, which is potentially, if this is our low, a 1, 2, 1, 2. That's how we can get very bullish on this potentially. I'm not saying this is what is happening, but I'm saying it's very difficult to spot bottoms when we get a combination and we get a triangle as our Y wave, as you can see. I can probably count on one hand how many I've actually counted those correctly in real time. And the reason that made me look at this is the shape of these. Like, this is not the typical shape of a diagonal. If it was, it usually ends up dragging out like I originally had, right, in my video. Not so fast and impulsive. Again, we're going against guidelines, like we usually get divergence all the way down. We usually get volume ticking down except for on our spike at the end, right? So that's what made me look at this. And what that would look like is we get our A, B, C, D. Whoop. We get our A, B, C, D, E. By the way, I was very excited when I realized this potential. Only because we have so many coins that we've been tracking that are exactly the same as this. Even a couple that have this funny spike at the end, which makes sense if it's a triangle, right? Triangle on our bottom is over here. That makes sense. So not the most perfect shape, but we're getting a series of 3 waves. 3, 3, 3, 3, right? 3. You can count that as 5 or 3, but you get the idea. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So this is what I'm considering. And I'm going to look at H bar. I'm going to go double check all of these because those potentials are there. And how that would change the count. Again, in the bullish scenarios, we're expecting an X wave and we're moving to the upside. But obviously, if the Y ended up here, this would be a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And we'd absolutely launch. So our tell is going to be over here, how far we launch. But I'll make sure I do a video of targets in that scenario. But I just wanted you guys to see what I'm looking for. And if this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, we'd expect launch off soon. And what's nice about this is the second 1, 2 is faster than the first. Our correction should be complete quicker than the 1, 2 of 1 larger degree as well. And if this is going to launch, there's our 6, 1, 8 and 1-to-1 in time. It should be like April 6th, first week of April, or sooner. This is just a guideline, but pretty quick, right? Potentially very quick. Might even be in. Like if I'm just looking on the daily here, just looking at it, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5th in and a running flat. It could launch now, right? So keeping very close attention to this. If it does start going, I might take the breakout, but we'll see. I'm going to give this a little more time because I mentioned the 6, 1, 8 and the 1-to-1, but we still want it as a guideline to happen quicker than the first 1, 2 of a larger degree, if that's the fact, right? Which would take us to that 1-to-1 March 31st. So we'd want it to kind of launch before March 31st. So you can see guidelines, they work, but they're not perfect. But again, I can see 5 waves straight to here and a running flat and close to that zone. So anyways, just wanted to show you guys that. But either way, looking for sideways correction. And if we do start to just absolutely take off, remember that scenario that could be our bottom, and this could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? Those are big upside targets if that actually pans out. Again, not trying to FOMO anybody. This just popped out in my head when I was just looking over these silly corrections that I've seen since these lows that all look like this. And I just couldn't make sense of it until this wave this last pop-up of a wave that doesn't really look like it belongs in a diagonal made me relook at this entire thing. And that's what makes the most sense to me. But yeah, okay guys, that's it for this one. I will update this one again as this correction pans out, but potential is there. 1, 2, 1, 2 launch. So we'll see. Not saying that's going to happen. Again, we could drift sideways and it could be that original count. We shall see. All right, guys, that's it for FileCoin. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.